Dilip Bhat is also with us now, joint MD of Prabhudas Lilladher. Dilip, good afternoon. What do you make of a volatile day like today? Of course, stock market is all about volatility, but what's the longer term trend telling you now? Do you think we have made a bit of a near-term bottom?
Well, I think today's movement really, probably in my opinion, captures the spirit of the Oxford Dictionary meaning of what a roller coaster ride would be. So I think this was something which was real, but the only caveat here being that you're playing with your money, and I think that is much more frightening. But having said that, yes, I think somewhere we do feel that possibly there could be a bottom. I know some of the technical analysts are very bearish on this particular markets, but I think in a run-up to the budget, somewhere I think this recovery has to happen is my personal opinion. And somewhere on a longer-term basis, I'm not so bearish. I think from the current levels, it would offer a reasonably good opportunity. The only factor which really worries me out and out is the economy. I think the economy continues to be one of the major problems for the stock markets too, which is not supporting the corporate earnings. Because despite oil giving you almost $60 billion and giving you 2 to 3% of additional GDP, and GDP is still where it is, that means it's telling that something has fallen off very dramatically in the GDP component, which is causing a lot of problems. So I think that really remains the sore point, which is really providing a headwinds for the corporates to make the earnings. But having said that, I would still be buying on a slightly longer term basis. Gradually, I would look for buying.
Okay, well, Dilip, I like that analogy because I have sat on many roller coaster rides in my life, and this is exactly what the chart of the Nifty is indicating today. You know, that dip that we saw intraday, just when you've had enough on the roller coaster ride and you can't take it anymore, we saw that quick recovery. So I take that analogy completely. But you know, we were having a very interesting discussion before you joined us on the Infosys versus TCS argument. Now, you know, we were all discussing ever since Vishal Sikka has taken over in June 2014, the stock has risen 40% since then, from 750 and now at 1080. What's your own sense about Infi ahead of the numbers tomorrow, and what does the risk reward look like now?
Well, I think I heard Tulsian also mentioning about the target of 20 for 2020, which Infosys and Mr. Sikka has really given out. I think exactly that is what is really giving a good visibility and good amount of, a lot of people are buying into that. And I think after a long time, you have seen that in Infosys, you have the CEO who has a direct connection with the end customers, the last mile connection as what we call it. I think all those things are giving a good visibility. But I think if you were to say, take a slightly longer term perspective, say 1.5 to 2 years, I think the returns between Infosys and TCS probably would more or less be similar, give and take a couple of percentage here and there. But all said and done, both the stocks definitely qualify as buy, because purely on the core earnings, both of them are still clocking something like 50% plus ROE if you were to strip off the cash. And I think they're generating good amount of serious cash. So I would say that Infosys, notwithstanding what's going to happen tomorrow, there could be some reaction possibly. That's very much possible, because generally after the result, this is what we have seen. But on a slightly longer term basis, I think Infosys and TCS both would qualify as a buy.
Okay, and what about Larsen, Dilip? That's also been another stock which has been quite volatile.
Absolutely. I think Larsen is something where we have been, we to ourselves have become very, you know, it's a kind of a despair which we are facing at the moment, because the stock continuously keeps on coming down. And we really feel that from the way the markets have reacted, I think markets have disproportionately reacted to the Middle East orders, which probably they are giving absolute zero to that. And also the execution, which has really not happened in the way in which markets would have really thought. And somewhere the management guidance always has been, they always missed out on the guidance. So I think people are really apprehensive on that count. But still, I think if this government and Larsen were to be put together, I think it makes for a good potent combination. So maybe certainly it has really taken it on the chin, but slightly on a longer term basis, I think Larsen would qualify for a buy every fall.
Okay.
A lot of message in that, and I think I would look at something like Reliance Infra also slightly on a medium to longer term basis.
Okay, so that's ADAG pack that Dilip would be watching out for.
Call our guests for joining us and taking us through the last 1 hour, of which has been a really tumultuous ride for the markets. The Nifty and the Sensex still end in the green, so the Sensex up almost 175 points, and the Nifty managed to hold its head above 7550.